Well, John was such a wonderful man, and in so many different ways. He was a wonderful husband, a wonderful son of John and Jean Echternach. He was a brother to his sister Kathy, a father to my two wonderful grown children, Jeff and Jamie. He's a Christian. He taught Sunday school at Boonsville Christian Church. He was an avid outdoorsman. He was an Eagle Scout. His whole life was about serving others. He is a physical therapist, and not only did he work in physical therapy in a clinic, and I'm a physical therapist as well, we both taught physical therapy at a college, at a local college. And this shirt I have on here, it's the Jefferson College of Health Sciences. This was the graduating class from last year, and he was teaching this class, and this class is such a beloved class of ours because we both worked with them with different courses. And after John passed, I went in to teach the class the first day, and they presented me with this t-shirt, and this became their lab t-shirt for the entire year. And I have to show you the back. And that was just one of many things. Always answered the call no matter what. He was so dedicated. We could be leaving to go out of town, and if the bells told, he turned around and he was there to serve. His death was really tragic, but with my faith and belief in God, I just think God had a greater purpose for him. It was he passed away on July 2nd of 2012, and he suffered a severe head injury 2 days prior. There was a really bad storm. I don't know if you've heard about it up here, the derecho storm, that big windstorm that swept through Ohio and all the way down. And he had gotten a fire call, and he was leaving to answer the fire call. And our dear friend, who's also our next door neighbor, who's also a paramedic, got the same call. They both got out of the driveway at the same time, and there was a big tree in the road, so they had to cut that out of the way before they even could continue. They got out to the main highway, and they got another call. So they had the fire call, then they had a rescue call. Well, they said, John, why don't, my friend Stan said, John, why don't you go ahead for the one call? I'll be right behind you. So John was about 6 or 8 cars ahead of him, and the traffic was dead stop because there were trees everywhere. A big tree fell and crushed a car that was like 8 cars ahead. So John got out of his car and walked up to help this motorist who was stranded in their car. And as he was doing that, a tree fell and hit him in the head, and he had a severe head injury. And they put him on life support, and he passed away 2 days later. Thank God the person in the car dug for the floorboards, and they escaped with only scratches. He was able to donate almost all of his organs, so he was an organ donor through LifeNet. He was 54 years old. He was a runner. He was in excellent shape. He was the perfect candidate. So I think his life and legacy lives on in others because he was able to, he died as he lived, serving others. So it's brought me some peace and closure to this, knowing that he lives on through other people. Great, and I had the opportunity to go to the Survivors Conference out in Arizona too, and that was really wonderful. I've just met a lot of friends and a lot of people who have just, they're kind of going through the same thing I am, and I think we just have that common bond, that, that we're all here to support each other, and that, terrible, tragic things happen, but life goes on, and you just need to deal with it the best you can, and that we're here to support each other to do that. So it's been a big family. I'm just trying to follow where God's leading me, and I just think that this is part of the story He wants me to tell. Oh, there's so many things, but I think his sense of duty and responsibility, he was so dependable. And you didn't have to ask, he just volunteered to do it. If somebody needed help with anything, he was always there. And I think that sense of duty really carried over even to his fellow firefighters and the EMT and public safety people. Is just, John, he was a lieutenant, and Lieutenant 7 always answered the call, always. So I think that's his story. Oh, there's one other thing. This is kind of an addendum, but just in his honor, there's been a lot of things we're trying to do just to kind of honor him and memorialize him. Is at the college where we both worked, they started a scholarship in his honor, and the scholarship is for a student that's going to this college that has done at least 2 years volunteer as firefighter, EMT, or something in public safety, because we want to honor their volunteerism. And so, you know, we had 2 candidates, and this is the first year. We just did the presentation about a couple months ago. They each got a $1,000 scholarship, and both of them worked with John at the firehouse, so that was incredibly special. And the other special thing we've done recently, because John was an Eagle Scout, and he was, I mean, he worked at the scout camp, Camp Otari in Virginia for, oh gosh, like 10 or 12 years. And he and a bunch of his buddies, when they were like 18 years old, built from scratch a log cabin. And the log cabin was in decent shape, but all my scout friends said, Debbie, we want to do something to honor John. You know, can we make a donation to scout camp? Could we get a scholarship for the campers, whatever? And my son, who's also an Eagle Scout, said, you know, Dad loved that old cabin out on the trail. Why don't we renovate it and just dedicate it to him? So we renovated it. We put a new roof on it. We put a porch on it. I got some, he was their science and natural history camp counselor, so he knew all about the snakes and that he could name every tree in the forest and all of that. So we got a bunch of posters and stuff, and so we're still working on it. It's not finished yet, but we had a big celebration last month, and about 30 of his friends from all over the country, mostly from Virginia, but we had a dear friend that came from Pennsylvania and another friend that came from Colorado, came out. We hiked out, it's 2 miles out to the camp, did a dedication. We scattered some of his ashes. We had a little service, came back and had a nice meal, and we just sat around for hours and told just wonderful stories. And some of these scouters, they hadn't seen each other in 10 years, 10 or 20 years, so it was just kind of a reunion. So just another wonderful way that, you know, we can all reconnect. So a lot of good has come out of this, if you can say that, but just special times.